Then a quick reminder, everyone, this talk is intended for educational purposes only. We are not financial advisors. Everything said just reflects our opinion, and that's it. Jumping right into SPY here. So one thing I do want to mention, we do have the FOMC minutes tomorrow, not the actual meeting, just the minutes. So it is a little more minor. And then Friday, OPEX Friday. So two events to keep in mind for this week. Next week, the market is closed Monday. So 3-day weekend coming up.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yes, sir. Something to keep in mind there.
I'm making a note.
So dealing with the short week next week. We'll talk about that later. The couple of things I kind of wanted to point out on SPY here. We're kind of in a challenging area, and it's been that way for a few days now. Mario was just talking about the frustration from last week. Definitely kind of getting that sense across the board, and you could see it for trade and price action as well. Two things to think about. We are in that daily downtrend series of lower highs, pretty evident here. The consideration at this point is whether or not this marked the actual low. We are starting to put in a higher low here. But one thing we have to also consider is whether or not, if we kind of zoom out a little bit, whether or not this is the start of a head and shoulders, right? Which means your neckline is down here. If you trade that pattern, I don't, but I cannot ignore this observation. So the point being is that this 430 support area is definitely going to be a major support zone for the technical picture here. Something to keep in mind as we move forward with these Fed events and interest rate hikes, everything like that. As far as near-term levels to watch, I have been pretty much taking it day by day. I'm not going to make a big call here. I'm just going to offer some reference points that I've been watching. Of course, this pivot area, the 450, 452 remains. We talked about that in the last session. We were right there on February 1st, as well as this zone pointed out this morning. It comes right through here, 440, 442. That is going to be the prior resistance right through there, now acting as kind of support. And so you've got the 200 MA also crossing right through here. It's a crowded area. It's a crowded area, right? It's questionable whether or not the MAs are still having the same impact that they would with their first test. So I'm giving those definitely less weight as we continue to just trade right through them, treating them more as reference points than anything. But that is what we're looking at with SPY. If you guys have questions on that, feel free to send me a...
What we may want to keep, because this kind of, well, yeah, it's almost like the Q, so we're going to touch on that one, but keep an eye on that cross of the 50 and the 200.
Okay, I've got this is the 21.
Oh, that's your 21.
Right,
oh, yeah. Okay, so we still far, but the Qs, I think they're about to cross, so we'll see.
Really, a cross under, death cross or whatever. Okay.
Yeah, they call it a death cross. So
okay,
not good.
We'll go ahead and pass it off to you here. We can take a look at that.
Okay, cool. Okay, so let's see. Last time, that was February the 1st. We were right here, right? So a quick recap, what we said, it was like probably, I'm sorry. First things first, right? I'm so excited. I just want to jump into the charts. That's the problem, right? Anyway, so let me get back right here. So that was the first, February the 1st, right? So this is where we were last time we talked, and we said we are at the 200 MA. So probably we're going to have some momentum, but it's going to be like through 68 for 370 for 374. We got lucky, right? So the main concern at the time was exactly what Kyle just showed you in the SPY. And I think a lot of times we just forget about how important it is to know who's in control of the market, right? So you guys, I'm pretty sure that you're pretty familiar with the theory that institutions, they trade off the weekly chart, right? Because they cannot they cannot afford to do what we do, which is buy space for 10 cents and get out, right? Or 50 cents or whatever it is, right? They got to put the positions or whatever. So basically the best way to see what the big money is doing is going into the higher time frames, especially a weekly chart or a daily chart to get an entry into the weekly chart. So having said that, what we were looking for was a lower high, right? Just to confirm that we have this lower high, right? New low right here, lower high, new low right here, lower low. So we were looking for this one, right? So we had it the following day after we had the move, I mean the last hangout, and then we have the gap down, and this is where we started to notice something now here, right? So if you saw the chart in SPY, I want you guys to focus on something, right? Like look at the level right here. It's 452, right? You come into the Qs, and like at times we gotta be able to identify those areas, like where we have like a seller right there. It's like 361. The sellers at 361, 362, like for 2-3 days, right? So right here they're selling. All of this is selling. So then we get into what is called a range, right? A range trading. And the main thing that I want to look when I'm thinking on trading something inside a range, or at this time in my trades with the market, is to see if there's enough space for me to have a move, right? So when I go and I see like, wow, this thing is moving pretty much 9 points in a day, that's close to 3%. So for me, it's just like you're gonna, I mean, you can pretty much be sure that Kyle, myself, we're gonna be like SPY, main, Qs. Just because he likes the SPY, just because I like the Qs. But the main thing you have to keep in mind is that the market is gonna be a major player into whatever is it that you do. So no surprise if you were calling shorts this day, and you're gonna feel like, oh my God, it worked amazing. Of course, the market's going down. Same happens when you're calling longs on this day and the market is going up. So of course, pretty much everything. I mean, you gotta be like doing something not too well if you pick the only stock that is not running when the market is running 3% higher. So that's something to take into consideration, right? Once you establish your range, now you know, okay, what's the play of the day? Am I going to try to go long? Am I going to try to go short? Where should I be looking for relative strength? Where should I be looking for relative weakness, right? Because I know it's frustrating. Like if you guys don't know that, it doesn't make any sense for me to tell you, okay, we're going to be ranging between 360 and 350. You don't know what to do, right? So make sure that you have your game plan based on exactly the levels that we're giving you. That's the best we can do, and that's how we trade, right? So we got like pretty much 4 days where if you know what you have to do inside these ranges, you're gonna be able, because there was moves like 3%, 3%, 3%, 1%, 2%, right? So we testing support. I don't need to show you that one. Start through 350 right there. And then we have the 361, 362 area, right? Then we have 4 days. And then we finally, up to this day, that came from bottom to the top, gap up into the 200 MA, right? One of the main discussions what we have with Kyle is like at that point of that day, we started talking and we said like, I think it's not a good idea. We agree that it was not a good idea to be looking for swings, right? We say, let's be careful. Don't call too many swings, right? Because there's a big chance that tomorrow we're going to gap down, right? And the only reason why we were discussing that is because 2 things right here. You're going into the 200 MA, it didn't go up, not a single cent. Then you come into the volume profile and you see that there's massive volume right here. So there's an area that is a lot of volume, plus you have a technical level that a lot of people just, it's a calculation, it's a 200 MA. So there's some resistance right there. Like then what we have is we walk into a gap down, right? And that's when you have to start making decisions, right? Like if you're thinking that this is the test of the prior high, which is not as important as saying is a test of the base, top of the base that we were trading, then you can take the trade, right? Once you go back into 366, what are you doing? We got to get out. That's target 1, right? Anyways, that's the entry. So where are we now? We have the news, whatever, which by the way, and this is the reason why I don't follow the news that closely, because when the market wants to sell, it's just going to find any excuse, right? So the excuse was that this Fed person saying something in the middle of the day. And then the other excuse was Russia is going to invade, Ukraine, I'm sorry. And the main thing is we have a Russian correspondent over there. And he's like, hey, that's been going on since 2012, right? And he's like, pretty much that's what's been going on. I don't know why the Americans are making such noise now if it's been going on for 9 years or 10 years. So nothing happens, but it was a reason to find this selling, right? To let's say, to just trade the chart, because the chart is telling us at this point in time, we told you guys, careful with the weekly, because the weekly is in a weekly sell. Here's a weekly sell setup, right? We come in from an uptrend, we come right here, double top. You can call it a double top right here. I call it a lower high, or not making a significant higher high is the same stuff. Then we have a bearish engulfing candle, a bearish candle right here. You have the continuation move right here into right here, pivot. Look at the pivot right here, right? So we just trade in the chart. So what happens when you break? Usually when you break, you come back, test the break right here, look at the candle right here, and this is the break that we have on Friday, the 350 for 346, right? So this is your trigger. Last week, we trigger a weekly short. So the weekly short will go here and it will be confirmed once we start going under the low. That was pretty much yesterday, I think, and we should be testing 334. Now we go to the daily chart, right? So this is what's going on, right? What do we do here? Now we know that the weekly, it's in control up until we don't break 370, right? We don't have like, okay, we're back into somewhat bullish environment, right? So what we're going to be having to deal right now was like, of course, I was expecting 1 to 3 days, massive move down. I'm not going to be shorting 345 for sure, right? So some of us could have been taking longs yesterday. Why? Because we went under the low and then we closed over the high. So that's a reversal pattern. Key reversal pattern. Target one, what is it? The 20 MA. So we hit the 20 MA right there. No surprise today, right? So far, what we got to come back is like, where are we now? Same range. We haven't moved. 352 by now is going to be 362. We call it this morning 352 by 355. Why? Because that's the 20 MA. Guys, like I get like private messages sometimes. I just like, where do you get that? Where do you get that price, right? And I'm like, well, from the charts. I'm not making up anything. We don't have a crystal ball. We don't throw like numbers out of random. It's just right here. So you come right here, you go 347, 350 is your next one, and then the 20 MA is 355. That's where it is. That's it. 355. Now we got the 360. So what are we doing here, guys? What are we doing here? We're gonna have to continue with that weekly sell on the weekly, weekly sell setup on the weekly chart, right? So let's go to the weekly chart again, once again. So it has to be clear because we missed like a big opportunity, guys. We called the short, and I shared the notes that Hassan posted, and that was 360 for 350 for 340. That's a massive 20 points move in the Qs that we called on the last hangout. So apparently we only keep track of the things that go long, right? For the shorts, we tend to forget. So keep an eye on that one, especially when we're calling a short sell, a sell setup on the weekly chart. So this is where we're looking, right? So once we start going on the 343, we should be testing the 334. So under 343, we trade the weekly chart and we go for 334, 330, right? That's just a continuation that we talk about the last hangout, right? So now this is what I think most likely is going to happen. I mean, we're going to have to deal with the range again. So we have for the next, I'll say couple of days, we're going to have the 350 by 360 once again. Nothing we can do, guys. This is what the chart is telling me. This is all we do. This is all we do. So the daily is telling me 350, 360. Guess what? If we get 4 days more, it's going to be big enough of a range. So we can trade it like 3 or 4 days. Then we're going to have the 200 MA, which is over 362. That's the last point that I show you right here. This is where we have all the sellers. So once I clear the 362, I'll probably go and test the 200 MA, which is at 366 and then 370, right? So I'm giving you like very tactical information, right? So if anything happens tomorrow, we can see 356, continuation 360. Once we start closing over 360, 362 for 366, 366 for 370. And now we're looking at exactly what Kyle says. So this is your W pattern. You can call it a W pattern, or you can do a reversal pattern right here. After we go over 370, that's where you see my big, thick line. Because what he's going to be telling me is I'm back over here on a weekly chart, right? So I'll say, okay, now I'm back into trading 370, 377, 404, right? And that's how a trend develops. Actually, that's how the changing trend will develop. So as of now, what we're trying to see if this is really the first higher low. Yeah, higher low. First higher low. So this is our main concern right here, right? I'm thinking we're going to be trading 360, 364 for a while, and then we decide what side we're going to go. So that's not much of a help. So what I'm saying, I'm going to repeat it again, 350, 360, we trade that range. Once we start going over 362, we assume we're going to go long up until 370, which is the trigger in the weekly chart, right? If we go down, you know what to do, 343. You can probably short the 352. 350, that's 350. Once we start breaking 350, the low of today, we can go 343 target 1, 346 target 1, 343 target 2, and 330. Okay, so that's the cue. And I hope this is like pretty clear, because a lot of the things that we're going to try to find need to be in somewhat in agreement. I'm going to try to find what's relative strength, relative weakness, special charts that we can totally check and probably trade for them, right? So for Apple, Mark is being giving like massive moves, 3% every up and down, you know, gapping up. We capture like 7-10% in one of those. So this one, you may agree, you may not agree with me, but 169 to 175, 6 points, that's a 2-3%. So if you got it on a good day, probably do it. Let me go into the weekly chart. Let's see what's going on. So what we have is like, we have the pullback and it's like 3 weeks doing nothing, right? So what I want to see is like 176. That's my trigger. 176 or 182. Pretty simple for Apple, right? And I'm going to be trading the weekly chart in Apple. So 176 to 182. Okay, do I want to short it? I don't want to short it. Why? Because the market went down, and this one, look what it did. Didn't go down, right? So this is the relative strength play in the market. So Apple 176 for 182. Let's see how Amazon is reacting or is acting. We have the news right here. That was in 2-3. So that was like terrible. I don't even remember if the news was bad or it was just the tape action that was bad. Actually, that was the day before the news, right? Correct me if I'm wrong. Yeah, I think they drop it prior to report earnings. The next day, they just put it back into the 50 MA. Guys, and again, another tip, always keep in mind when you're far from the moving averages, especially with the gaps and everything, careful when you open right at the gap, or when you start feeling you start touching the big moving averages, right? Because that's usually a pretty good sell point, right? Like, or at least take your profits. So 3205, that's a big level from that day, right? And it's been 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 days. So what we're gonna be looking is like probably at 32. Let's look at the 32 for 3,358. Okay, sort of a reversal play. Because 3360. Let's 3360, 3358. You know where I'm going, right? I'm going to the 200 MA, right? 3300 will be target one. Let me just double check with the weekly. And this is what I'm saying. This is sort of a reversal trend, right? Because we just broke. This is like a downtrending weekly chart, right? This is a massive move from 37 to 27. So that's 1,000 points. That's 30%, right? So we dropped 30%. So we're just coming back into the 50. And then if you do the Fib analysis, you know, I do it all the time because you don't trust me right here, or you don't trust your eyes. What we did is you just went down, we bounced back into the 50 MA, and then we sold. So this is what I was telling you guys. Like this is like 3260. That's not the place to go long. That's the place. That's the day to try to get it short, right? Because you're in a downtrending, right? So I know the news is amazing. I know it went up. I know whatever. Take your scalp to the long side, but don't forget that this is a pretty good spot to be shorting. So of course you gotta find the entry. I'm just giving you the main trade, right? The main chart that is in control. So it was a sell. So we're looking for a reversal right here. So 31.85 now, no, 32 actually, 32. I want at least a close over these areas right here, the 32 for 33, but market as a reverse. It's a reversal trade. I'm going counter trend right there. So make sure you don't do it on a day that the market is going down. Make sense? Okay, I hope so. So here's Microsoft. I managed to put a couple trades, decent trades from 300, but that was, again, that was the day. This is the 4 days that we were talking in the market. So pretty much those 2 days, you can buy pretty much anything, right? And anything just move up. So the 300 to 320, 310, that was 312, I think it was like the move. So this is why we emphasize so much, and we spent like a good 20 minutes, 25 minutes giving you the details into what the market is doing. Because if you know what the market is doing and you know you want a marketplace, so the day that you see the cues right here, right? Like, oh my God, 1, 2, 3, what do I do here at support for going and testing the 200 MA? Well, I like Microsoft. Let me see where Microsoft is. Oh, Microsoft is at the point of control. So basically there's a lot of volume right here. So that's an easy trade. You don't need to go crazy on that one. You just buy 300, 301, and then if you want, you can sell it the next day for a good 3%, 4% move. So where do we go from here? What I'm trying to figure out is like what is it that I'm liking here in Microsoft, and I don't like it till we probably go over 316. That's where my alert is right here. I have a 303 just in case, and I tell you what's it just in case. This is a weekly chart, right? So what I'm doing is like we have a low. We come in here, and this might be a pivot low, right? So this is exactly what the market might be doing. So if I see like massive volume tomorrow in Microsoft, that could be a trade that I'll take. So that's what I have out there right here, just in case the market, that I want to trade the market, and Microsoft is leading the market. Here's the other thing that I like about Microsoft. We have a 9-day squeeze. So there's a lot of energy building up right there, right? Once we go over the 300, 304, you may want to have your alert right there, call it out for the team, and we know the trade, right? 304, 4, 310, and then, yeah, that's a small scalp, actually. It's just a market play. I just want to put it as a market play, right? At point of control. Not loving it, nothing too special. But like one of those days when you don't want to get into trouble, you don't want to get into the crazy stuff, this is like an easy trade you can make, right? I'll show you something that we did today. So one of those easy trades, supposedly, right? Like cleaner trades. This is something that we're looking to. We have the bad news, the earnings, whatever, disappointing, and we have the reversal. Reversal was into the target zone, fell a little short. I was expecting this one to hit 370. It didn't. And then the market came. So you know what happens. It's a bad tape in the market. So of course, this one's not going to go. So what we're seeing is finally trying to bounce with the market. So 411, I think Carly was looking at this one over 412, I think she called it. But what I want to really make sure we don't miss is the 430, right? So the 430 will probably take us back to 456, and then we go for the 493. Why is it that I'm looking at this one as a reversal? Once again, like we tested all of these area of support right here, right? Massive accumulation like for 3 or 4 years into the 358, 362. I did not get in at those prices. I think the first time we entered was around here or in here, right? So now what we're trying to build is like the lower high, call it a pivot, the new lower, higher low, I'm sorry, higher low pivot. And we have a pretty good reference points, guys. Like we have all the news, apparently very bad news, losing subscribers, all of that thing. So fell after massive move from 700 to 350. That's, by the way, that's a 50% drop. So we have a bounce, little bit of a bounce into a technical level, comes back. Now we have accumulation right here that is pretty much at the same price that here. And now what I'm going to look for is some momentum build it up. If the market starts acting well, this is probably the one that I'm probably going to be jumping, right? So scalpers, you can do 412 for 422 Netflix. 412 for 422, which is like 10%, $10 scalp. And then once we start clearing the 430, I'll go 430 for 460, right? Ultimate target will be 490, right? And this is a reversal. Again, we try to build a reversal. Let's check the weekly chart for sure, to make sure what is it that we're doing. So this is sort of a capitulating move, right? With the massive volume, highest volume right here. We did this one, which was pretty high, but then we have the massive volume right here. So it's like pretty much, if you short and you didn't cover, probably they force you right here. So if not, so this is what this is what I'm looking. Probably this trigger right here, 412, 413, and this is your target, 422, and then 455, and then we go higher. Okay, so that's the main play for Netflix, and then we go into Google, which I think is this one's strong, right? Nah, not really. So what's the story on this one? I have no idea, but I think they reported like great earnings, surprise. The weekly chart was looking really good, like massive uptrend right in here, pull back into a 50 MA. And still, that was just the first lower, the first new low, right? After they failed to make a significant new high. You guys know that I'm like, from my training, what I learned is like high is, I mean, you can call that high. I mean, basically, if you go from 100 to 100.01, that's a new high. But is that significant, right? Is that, or is that just somebody that, you know, just put 100 shares and just bought, you know, a little bit over the, you know, jumped the gun, thought it was going to go whatever. So I always give it a little bit of a buffer, especially when I'm looking at trades like this, because a lot of people will be buying all-time highs, right? So there was a lot of people, I promise you, buying 30.25, 30.27, and thinking that it was going to go 4,000. So we know what happened right after that. So they get trapped right here. That was the open, and that was probably pretty much the high of the day. So they opened 328, 330, and that was it. Rest is history. You go all the way to 26.63. Whenever you're in doubt, if you're long at the open was a good trade, just check the chart, probably 3 or 4 days after that. And then you say like, wow, yeah, that was a $2 risk to the short side, and I could have made 400 points on that trade. So where are we now? So we're into the weekly chart. We saw it already. So we have clear reference point right here at 30.24, which is pretty much all-time highs. And then this could be sort of, I'm gonna use this one as a spring. I know we talk about this one. Kyle shared with us some charts to explain what is a spring. So basically that's what we did right there, right? That was a spring. After the spring, you go long. That's trap, not really, because it's not significant new high. So I'm not going to call it as an upthrust. That's the opposite of a spring, is an upthrust, but this is not a significant new high. I'm not going to call it a new high. So we never make a new high. So we just did the spring, came back up. Now we're testing. So this is a reference point for us, 26.61. You can trade it all the way 28 and all the way to 29.21. So for Google, if you really like it, you gotta go, I'll say 28.30 at least, and try to get it for 200 points, okay? GOGL. So 28.30 for 30.30. right? And this is a trade that I probably want once I know that it's out of the woods. Like this is a spring, like a confirm. It did confirm right here. So now all we have is a pullback. I want to see it over the moving averages. Most likely the Qs will need to be going up for this one to work. So Google could be some kind of a market trade too. Same with Microsoft, same with Apple. Those are market trades. Those are not reversals really. Netflix is a reversal and Amazon is a reversal, right? So let's do some metaverse, the meta stock, the Facebook. So we've been, I mean, I have alerts on that one at 232. I haven't heard from it in probably a week now. So we almost triggered. And the main question here is the short side. Let's assume we take the short. The short's pretty clear, right? 214, and we should test 200. So Facebook, if for whatever reason go under 214, the target will be 200, right? That'll be the target. Now, I want to see if there's anything else going on with this chart that I can make a trade-off. Monthly is not telling me anything. Weekly is not telling me anything. Probably this is like the first time that we actually looking at probably a reversal. So I don't want to get anybody into trouble. But if we go over 236, I'll probably trade a reversal on that one. So over 236 is a reversal. Very hard one to make. You got my lines right there. Those are my pre-market lines for that day. So 236, 243, and 260. Those will be the targets. And let's move on to something better because that's not a nice chart, right? We need a, like, again, guys, if you're just tuning in or you listening to us for the first time, like we don't go for this type of trades, right? This is a reversal trade. This should be like minimum part of your trading plan, but you should be in the know on how to at least have a strategy that you can play whenever tomorrow we have a news and Facebook gapping up, or there's some news about some good news about it. So we see it going higher. So we have some alerts, right? So we know, oh, that's a 236 for 243. Once we get to 243, you know, you got to be taking profits because you're going against the trend basically. So that's the way I changed my trading, and I adjusted a little bit based on the chart that I'm trading. When I have like a massive, beautiful chart, I'm more willing to ride it for the whole day, even for a couple of days, right? Than when I'm doing a reversal. Look at this beautiful chart. And this is probably the first beautiful chart that I'm seeing. So look at the monthly chart, perfect chart. Look at the pullback right here. And now we're coming into here, 262. So let's go into the weekly chart. Oh my God, when?
Tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah, that's why it looks so beautiful. So tomorrow we're going to be trading probably 300. Yes. So yeah, this would have been a good running to earnings play, guys, from point of control into the 50 MA. So that one's done. So yeah, let's wait for it. Beautiful looking. Look at the weekly chart. Very organized. Well, of course, the market is being horrible. So this is the market, right? But it looks great. So 268 tomorrow, if you see it, and if you do that type of trading, 268 for 300, right? Running to earnings. Very careful, please. If you do it, make sure you don't overpay. Make sure all the other stuff that you're supposed to know. Okay, Roblox today, we have this reversal on watch, and it's gonna trade tomorrow. It's gonna trigger tomorrow, most likely. So why? Because we have massive volume today, and we stop right at the another one with the 215. So earnings is out. Okay, dropping, terrible. Okay, so our Roblox no call earnings. So we'll do the analysis tomorrow, right? The idea was 73 for 80 into earnings, but we didn't, so we already saw that it's coming down, but let's wait till tomorrow. Let's see. I don't know why I still have the U. We never trade that one. Let's see AMD. And AMD, it's setting up. Not sure how the news from NVIDIA might affect them. So let's see the weekly chart, how it's looking. This one's like 120, 121 right there. Weekly, I was thinking weekly buy. I think that's the last part, the last time we talk. So we have the pullback, and this is a weekly buy. It triggered, never stopped. Technically, we should still be into that long trade. I know based on where you got it, you're not going to be able to support these 2 horrible days in the market, but this is encouraging right here. So this one could be a momentum if tomorrow semiconductors are in play. I think this is one of the good plays that we called last week when we said like the semis could be the ones that are going to take the Nasdaq to new high. So that was a 122 to almost 11 points right there. That was decent trade for a 5-6% move in 2 days. That's decent. So what I'm looking is for more continuation. Basically, look at the volume right here, right? So we have the point of control very clean. The 200 MA at 111. That was 111, 111.60. That was tested on Friday. And then we have this other level right here. If you come up, you see that this is the next level. We closed right there today. So if we see a closing 122, I'm willing to take it for 127, just as a momentum trade, right? With a good market, momentum trade, 122 for 127. Now, where do we start changing the approach for AMD? Let's say we go 127, 133, right? The 133 will be the next target or the next entry. The next entry, that will be the entry for the weekly chart. And then once we go 133, we go for 150, okay? So let's put it like 2 trades. I don't know if you guys are getting me, what I'm trying to explain to you guys, but this is how I trade at least. Like there could be a play tomorrow if the market is good and NVIDIA is out. And so probably there's going to be, we don't know the news, but let's think that they decide to run it. So if we see semis strong tomorrow, we can do a decent scalp for 5 points tomorrow. 121, 127. We don't know if it's going to stop at 127. 127 will be our first target, but it can easily go 133. Now, once I go over 133, I default into my weekly chart. And now what I'm looking is like weekly buy that we talked right here, right? So this should be in place. The trigger will be 132.61. And I'm probably going to be willing to take it for 147, 150, and who knows, 160. Right? Because this is the power of the weekly chart. Look what happened. I don't know if you guys remember when we're trading this thing. I think we got it from 107 to 119, and then we totally forgot, and then it just went like another 50%. So that's a good move. So keep an eye on that one. So we got 2 trades on that one, 122, 127 for daily chart tomorrow, 133, 150 for the weekly chart. So that's AMD. And Qualcomm, we've been waiting for forever. So this is so boring, this stock. My God. Anyways, same stuff right here. Earnings run right into the top of the range. Usually I don't buy the top of the range. So that was the day they reported earnings. They brought it all the way to 192. They never triggered the real move, which was out of here. And you can see it right here, right? This is what we've been waiting. I think I got 193, 195 for 200 and 220. So stays right there. I don't know when that one's gonna hit. So 183 for 200, 220 at least. Now the earnings is out. I don't know what the next catalyst is gonna be, but when do we start looking at that one? Whenever we see bullish activity, right? Because I think based on the monthly chart that I don't want to short this one unless the market starts going down. I'm probably going to be able to find something better to short. But like the monthly chart is still in that zone right here, still in this zone. So it hasn't triggered to the long side. So am I willing to take a shot? Probably once I start seeing 182, a close over the 50 MA can be a scalp to 183. But that's not the main trade I want. So probably I want to start looking at 183 once we go over 183, unless we have some news tomorrow, of course. So 183, take a look at that one for 183 to 93, 183, 183, and then we do the breakout play. Please, guys, whenever you see a breakout play, if you don't know how it looks, this is how it looks. Like move, sideways consolidation, right? And then you have this setup right here. So we want to do a breakout play, right? New all-time highs, good patterns, good long-term patterns. It's good. It's good when you call it like, hey guys, this one's a breakout play on a monthly chart, on a weekly chart, on a daily chart. It's pretty good because that brings my attention. If you tell me, oh, it's over the high of the prior day, it could be Facebook making the high of the prior day. That doesn't mean anything, right? It all depends on location. So let's go to PayPal. And this one is absolutely nothing. It's not even moving lately. So we have the gap down on earnings and it's just been drifting down. I don't want to get involved in this one unless we go into the 100s or a reversal. So it's no call on PayPal unless we get news. Affirm. This one, I think I called it yesterday and I was looking for a possible short under all-time lows. And I think we hit a new all-time low today. So I think the low was, I don't remember, 43, 40, no. What was the low yesterday? I think it was 44.80, 43.50. So yeah, I make a little bit of a low today. So this is another one like PayPal. I don't want to get involved. You can always go like, if you like trading reversals, but I don't. This is the main thing, right? This could be capitulation. I think so, could be, but the problem is like capitulation. I like it better when it's coming from straight down exhaustion, right? If you see here, there's probably people just dumping this thing, and this was just the news. So the actual chart suggests that this could continue to go lower. So actually, I'm gonna call it under 42, and target will be like 10% down at least. So Affirm stays as a short watch if we break 42 for a 10% move down. Okay. Clover, we don't do that anymore. Square, block, now is blockchain, and this one's been giving us the main chart that I'm working with is the monthly chart. So check your records, because what I think the last call we have is like the 119 for 100. So that was a 20% drop. We did it right here, right here. I think I got like 3 or 4 points the following day. I think Strong was with me on that short, but then the following day was a big move. So here was it. So we have a good range right here, guys. So Square is in a range, which is, I'm going to call it 100 to 120, right? By the way, if you go to the shorter time frames, you're going to see that there's like 108, like 108 is something right here. 110 today. Look at 110 yesterday. Look at 110 here. Look at 110 here, 111 VWAP. Okay, so 110, I know 100 is the real support right here, 101, right? You don't have to let it go all the way to 101. Just watch the 110. By the way, this one worked today, 110 to 111, 110 to 111, 110 to 115, 116 yesterday. So if you want to make like 6 points right there, that's a 3 to 4% move, decent move. I like it. Here's the other thing I like. The 30 minutes is going sideways. So once we go over 116, I think we can go. Why? Because what I'm trying to see is if we have any kind of bounce after 1, 2, 3, 4, pretty much 4 months of a drop into right here pivot. You see? 101.60 right here, this level. So they drop it all the way from 300 almost to 100, and now we're trying to bounce. So that's the type of bounce that I want to see how we develop. Look at the volume right here. There's massive volume right here. So once we start going to 120, probably we're gonna come. I'll say 130 is my target. Yeah, 130, 140. So over 120. 130, 140. Again, you can trade the 110 if you want to do that, right? Here's the weekly. This is what we're doing. right? So once we go here, 120, you can trade at 126. But the big trade is the other one, right? I'm trying to see if the monthly is going to start working for us. That's the thing. Here's the second target, 151. So I say 120, 130, 140, 150. Pretty good. I like my odds right there. So that's square. I think that's one that we should keep in mind. Then we have Intel. I don't know. We should take this one off. Yeah. So whatever. If it decides to move one day, we'll probably take a look at that. But it's not gonna wait. By the way, we just I'm following with Kyle. He said that he's cleaning up his watch list, and I'm long overdue on doing the same because it's just horrible. It's just terrible. Too many names, and not all of them have the greatest options to trade with, liquidity. And like, if you have to choose between two, one is like high liquid, beautiful daily setup, why would you trade the harder one? I mean, it's just you're just asking for trouble. This one's a great one too. We talk about the monthly buy. Now what we checking in here is probably this is a breakout play into all-time highs, 98 over 100. I know there was some news. I can't remember what the news is, but look at the weekly chart. So we have all the all the components, the trap right here, right? And then the shakeout right here. And now we're going for 98. So 98.50, of course, that's going to be the entry, right? 98.60. So MU over 98.60, and that's all-time highs. And usually if you go 100, you go 110, 120. So those are the targets, right? You can do FIBs too. Once we start getting into that, we do the FIBs, but probably 110, 120, right? So this is a must watch. Look at the volume. I like the volume on the greens. Yes, we did have the red right here, right? But that was not, yeah, it's a red day. Of course, they were selling, but the good thing is that we went through that today. This was one of the trades that we posted today for the guys in the room. Very nice setup on the monthly, very nice setup on the weekly, right? For a continuation with a good market, all you have to do is you see your 15 minutes, how it's looking, and that's a good trade right there, right here, right? 92 over pre-market high, and it takes you all the way to 95, and you hold the, well, you're right there for 96.50. Ideally, tomorrow we're gonna hit 98.45, and then we just continue to go. So MU is on watch, is a momentum, all-time highs, 98.60. You can trade it tomorrow. It's not a second day play, guys, and this is something that we talk about also for the guys that trade with us in the live trading room. Why is not a second day play? Well, first, you're not breaking out of the base. This, you may say this is a base, but that's not a base. There's a lot of sellers right here. So you just go on a momentum. So this is just a momentum, simple momentum trade. This is not the highest volume that there's been. It's 127. Yeah, it's above average. We can all see that one that is becoming more active for sure. That's what we were trading it today. But it's not like this. It's not the day following this, right? Like this second day play didn't trigger, next day, boom, that's the one you want. Like this is textbook. This is like you calling things names, right? Whatever you want to call them. So TSM, I know we used to check this one. 125, 132. What is it I like? Weekly chart, monthly chart. It's like building that base. I think it was like a couple weeks that gave us like a really nice move. Not sure if this is one of the ones that got caught by Kyle out of the watch list. So I'm not even gonna go there. This one we've been watching forever. At least I have, because I'm looking at that 140 level. Look at the monthly chart. So this is like cutting half, right? We try to bounce. There was some news about Chinese, whatever it is. So 140, but look where we are. So we've been dealing with this 50 MA. Probably we're gonna finally cross over the 50 MA. So it all depends on how aggressive you want to be on this one. But there's a lot of volume that we have behind us. So let's check the weekly. Let's see how it's looking. Oh my God, when do we have earnings? 224. We may run into earnings. So this one is 130 for 137 into earnings. Okay, Baba. I'm gonna call it momentum reversal. So it's a Momo reversal over 130 for 137 into earnings, right? And then we check it. Hey, we get lucky, we hit 140, and if we get really lucky, we hit 160, right? But for those of you that have read the book, so we know that it's skill and then there's luck, right? So we gotta have the skill to get these opportunities identify and then to get into those. But then we need the luck so that we get into the day that other people will decide to buy it after we bought, because that's what we don't think about, right? They don't need to buy it from us, because if they buy it from you, that means you're out of the trade. You needed to buy after you and you're still holding, so you can make all those 10, 24, 40 points, whatever it is that you want to make. So JD, I don't want to call this one because it's just still there. You can say it's point of control. So if you like to trade point of control, yeah, that's a trade. It's in a squeeze, 9-day squeeze. So it's no volatility right here. Is at the 26. You can take a trade. I'm sorry, 26 now, 76. So you can take a trade for 2 points. I'm not trading an $80 stuff for 2 points, right? Like if it's tomorrow, I can take it. But like my call in here for, yeah, he's calling 76 to 78 for target. Yeah, doesn't make any sense for me. Rivian, let's move into the cars. Is that the cars? Yeah, these EVs. So this one has been, I mean, this is a recent IPO. We all remember that Ford makes so much money, and actually some of the profits that we saw from Amazon were based on their position on Rivian or whatever it is. So 180, no FOMO, 90. That's why we don't get into FOMO, right? So what we're trying to see here is some buyers stepping in. We saw them yesterday, right here, like at point of control. So we know point of control is $63. Let's check that we have time, 310. That will be probably the first time. No, the second one. Okay, 310. So we got a little over a month to probably make something out of this. So 72, 72, 72, 72, 73, I think it's 71.46 for 79. It's a 10% move. So I'll probably take it as a momentum trade. Absolutely. So let's call it 71.50 for 200 MA. Pretty simple call. Yeah. So Rivian, 71.50 for 78 and $80. That's Rivian, right? It may be. So what we're trying to do is we're trying to find if we're putting a lower high. That's all there is. But even the chart, I don't like it. Target, again, 79 right here, or the moving average. And then if we get lucky, it's going to be 97. Who knows? We got to check into what they're going to say for the earnings. So that's Rivian. We got Tesla, the other EV. Look at that chart. My God. What a show. So the monthly did the test of 800, bounce all the way to 922, and look what they're doing right now. This is just chop. This is just insane. This is nothing. This is just sideways. So all you need to do is just put on alert 950. Probably 963 will be better. 960, you get your 100 points once you go over 950. You don't need to get involved in all that chop right here and suffer for, what is it moving, like 10 points now? Yeah, forget it. The ATR is 55 points. So you want to probably have at least a couple ATRs from here, right? 953, you get expansion, 2 ATRs will bring you to 1,000. So you make 100 points. Otherwise, you're just in the chop, right? So this is not a spring. We're not breaking out, but we have the volume right here. Definitely 951 could be a trade. Could be a trade in Tesla. So Tesla, let's call it Tesla 951 for 965, which is the intraday trade, 15 points, and then we go 1050. 1050. Okay. So that's Tesla. Let me see if the weekly is telling us something different, different story. I like it. Look at this three. This is what we'll be trading, right? 947. So this is it. Yep, this could be a decent trade, assuming that we're going back. Look at the pivot right here, right? So we overshoot to the downside, tested the 50 MA. Look at the green one right here, and then once we start getting over here, 980 should be a different trade. You know, probably people will start buying it. So yeah, Tesla, just let it trigger. That's my 2 cents, if I can give you 2 cents. So here's Lucid. Lucid going back over 200 MA. What I like is the monthly chart, and I think that's why we were looking at this one today. And I think we have a call from the last hangout, but I'm just gonna go ahead and make a new different one. I don't want to go into my old papers. So what we have is like 1-2 days right into massive areas of support: 23, 25, 25.90, 26.94. They held right here. See? This is a reversal. Probably they stopped the people right here at 25.50. Yes, you see 1, 2, 3, 4. Little details, guys. 1, 2, 3, 4. Red should have been short. Like you coming here, you're making a base, should have broke. Now, all we have is a signal. This is not a main reversal. We just have a signal. Main reversal will be once we go over 31. And that's where you see my alert, right? But I'll be willing, if I see it tomorrow, like on volume or something like that, to take an intraday and trade for 29.60, probably 29.40. That's what I have it, 29.40 into 31. Once I get into 31, this is what I do. And I give you guys an example, the sounds. So I have a special sound for my calls from here, right? So I put like a trigger right here, and that's a different sound. So I create it right there. So I know it's a long-term trade, because sometimes I use alerts intraday, right? So for intraday, I know I wanna make sure that I know when it's at 29, I know when it's at 29, 29.30, but they're not the same. Like the 21.20 is gonna give me probably 50 points, 50 cents, 60 cents. But once I get into the break of 31, that one's gonna be probably 34, 40. So Lucid stays over 31 for 34. I think we called it last time 35, but the moving average is declining. So you know why it's coming down, right? So before it was like at 35, now it's 34.40. That's target one. And then if we get lucky, 37 again. Let's look at the weekly chart. This is what we're trading with. This is not a weekly buy. Why? Because we're not in an uptrend. We just trade in this range. We're just trying to see, oh, last time we were here at support. You see the accumulation right here? Look at the volume on the break. That was when we have the news about they won the car, whatever, boom, go back, pull back into where we broke from. Look at that. Is it 29? Is it 30? Right here. So this is exactly, you know, sometimes we get into trouble because we don't want to pay the 20 cents up. I just want to wait until you get the proper entry. Once you get the proper entry, 30.50, boom, you go into 40.40. The other things that we have to keep in mind is that, like, for a couple years, we were just trading a low BIX. I think BIX was like 10, 11, 12, 13, low BIX, uptrending market, up. Buy the high of the day, buy the private high, buy whatever. So that was pretty simple. Today, it's not the same. So I want to make sure that you get a real entry, right? Whatever was working before, probably it's not going to be working today. Some of it, some not. If you got a perfect setup, that's usually going to work most of the times. This one, I like it. And I'm going to show you why the only thing I'm probably going to like it. Because once we start going over 41.50, right? Of course, if the 50 crosses the 200, then I'm going to be more bearish. But that means that we're going to start looking at the red. If we go to the red, I'll probably take 36, and then you take 36 to 30. So XPV, 36 to 30. I don't think that one's going to be the trade, right? I'm just calling it because we're near death cross, right? The 50 under the 200, right? Once we start, if we get that one, what I'm thinking is I'm going with the volume profile right here. So I want to take once we go over 41.42, 41.50 to probably take it 45. Yeah, not, I thought it was going to be bigger. 41.50 for 45, 46. Yeah, 47, not that big. 10%-ish could be a good trade, could be a decent trade. Keep an eye on that one. Not my main chart, but I thought it was going to be better for the long side. It's okay. It's an okay trade. FSR, earnings tomorrow, I think, because I was looking at this one today. So yep, that's where the alert is. 12.80 for $14, but I think we ran out of time for this one. It's gonna be after the market, so yeah, 12 to 14 in case it happens tomorrow, but I don't think so. We ran out of time on this one. FSR 12.80 for 14 earnings. Just gonna keep it there. How's the time? 6:42. So we got 20 more minutes to go. Make sure we don't lose anything. Let's go pretty fast with Ford. Ford is one that we've been looking. Look at the monthly chart. Monthly chart is in control. I think that's support 18. If you're aggressive, you may start accumulating 18.50. If now, wait for $20 and then we go 20 to 25. Pretty simple. Same thing we did last time. So what I want to see is like 1864. That's your weekly buy. Ford 1864 weekly buy, or wait for confirmation over 21 for 25. I like them both, to be honest. Let's do GM pretty fast. Not as clean. I'm not gonna make a call on that one because I want to go through. What else are we, what's hot these days? Do you guys gonna do, you guys still interested in trading oils and stuff like that? You haven't been posting that much, right?
Let's check them. Yeah, we can check them out.
Let's do Zoom, XOM, sorry. ExxonMobil. So guess where we hit? 83. That was target right here. Look at all the massive things, right? So we need a break over that. 84, 84.50. 84 will be at least good area to start considering the long, but we have massive distribution over like 2-3 years at the 80s. So we hit it. That was a massive run. We all know what's going on with the oil. So it went from 63 to 83. So I'm not buying at 83 for sure, right? So keep that in mind. The chart looks great. So it's not that we cannot go. It's just I want to make sure that I have a proper entry, right? So what will be a proper entry? Probably a buy setup, a weekly buy right here, 79. So 79, but be aware where you're buying. So 79 for 84, and it can fail at any time. I think that's what happened, right? Like you went long right here, and then next morning you wake up and then it's just down. Let's see if there's something better. Oxy looking a little better because we don't have that overhead resistance on that one. However, the chart tried to break a couple days ago and now it's pulling down. So for this one, let me see if we have a weekly setup that we can work. Just momentum, but we have earnings coming. 224, 43.20 could be a momentum trade in Occidental. What else you guys trade? How? Similar chart to Oxy, 3363 for 36. How? MRO is also another one that I used to watch.
Let's check Delta and American.
Let's do the airlines now. DAL. Is good for a trade too. I think that one right there, that breakout that we're about to have. I think I tried it the last time that we try to break. At least we're over the 200 MA. So we're about to have the bullish cross right here. The 50 going over the 200, that could signal something. So I like it here, 44.80. 44.46, but I think it should go 60. So yes, I like this one. I like Delta. Delta over 44.80. That's aggressive entry, 44.80. 44.80 46 is your target, scalp target for the morning, and then keep it for 50 because that's a real trade. That's a real trade. $6, that's 15%. I like that one. Delta. So here goes. There you go. And I'm just showing you guys what I do. And I go over 46 for 50. Hang out. There you go. So that's Delta. AAL.
Yep.
American. This one's tougher because we have, again, we going into the 20, into the point of control, into the 200 MA. So it means we can take pretty much the same trade as in Delta. 19, but my target's 20, right? So we can go 19, 20, 22, but then it's a big reversal we're getting for sure. I just want to make sure that we have massive volume. Like when I do this, I need massive volume, right? 19. So remember, guys, there's one thing that it's like momentum trading. Momentum trading, we see it tomorrow and it goes like $19 and it's strong. You can go 19, 1950, and then whatever you feel like. But then when I'm considering what we try to do here is give you like a good strategy that you can probably take couple trades for 10, 15, 20%, you know, easier to make money, right? So, okay, so that's AAL. ALK, I think, is Alaska. That was on my radars today, on my screen today. It's out. The good thing is over the 200 MA, is over the point of control 2. It's pretty similar to what Delta is better. I think Delta is the better looking one. Yeah, ALK. Any other one? Spirit, that got bought, right? Luft. This is Southwest. How
They
about
don't have the options, all these other ones. That's one note on these things.
Okay. RCL, CCL, CCL, look at the monthly. Ooh, 24. Keep an eye on CCL over 24. Let's do the banks. Goldman, trying to put a lower high over 373 for 380, but not my thing. You guys know that I don't usually trade the banks. JP Morgan probably similar chart. C. Let's do the economy. This one looks good. Yeah, this one looks good. This one looks good. Yeah, Piton. Costs. This is, they changed. I don't know what was the deal. They changed the CEO. I don't know. They could be a takeover target. That's what they've been talking. Not that I paid much attention to that, but this was hot and still is a brand that it has recognition, right? And it's expensive, whatever it is. So from 40 to 170 back to $40. Just oh my God, I don't want to say it because I get censored. Anyways, over 40.35. Look at that. Over 30.35. That was the day that we have the massive earnings that we traded, right? So we got a very good reference level. $40 will be going over the 50 MA, but for sure 40.50. So the high of the earnings report, I think that's the one we trade, right? And we go 40, we go $50. So that's a 10%. That's a 20. Yeah, it's a 23% move. Isn't that the one that we caught for 30% move intraday? Yeah, that was the one, right? Yeah. Piton, reversal trade over 40 for 50. And find your entry. Find your entry because you're probably gonna be able to find something in the 36 for 40, right? 36 for 40 over 40 for 50. So keep us in the loop. If you start seeing it, I'm gonna put my alert right here because I don't wanna forget about this on 36 for 40 over 40 for 50. There you go. So at least I have it, right? I have it on watch. I like this one. This is what we're trying to do. Like this is massive dumping and then you just drift. This is the news, right? And well, target should be this if we get it. Now, if we start going down, I don't want to get involved in that one. I don't like shorting those things at the lows, especially because this doesn't give them moves. Look at the size of the candles. And yeah, you have a red candle, big red candle right here. But this is beautiful, big green. So I want just more green, couple green ones will take us to 50. And that'll be awesome. MAR. 181. Yeah, was reporting earnings today, or was it today that reported earnings? Yeah, all-time highs. Yep. 178, 181. What's that? Like 3 points on a $180 stock? Yep. I mean, yeah, momentum, I guess. Buy the highs. If you continue higher, keep buying. So is Piton, let's see, Zoom. See this, so this is the same story, like 600 to 250. Finally, there's a divergence right here in the momentum indicator. Let's see the weekly chart of earnings coming 228. So I have an alert right there in Zoom for 160 to 200. I think is the same. 160, 168, 180. Nah, no call on Zoom. Robinhood, we know Kathy was buying it. So we have the news right there at 994. And now what I'm looking for is probably if we can take that $14, $15. This will be it, right? 15.5. This is a reversal, another reversal. So hood over 15.5 for, I think it should give us like $17. Yeah, 1840, 18. I'm gonna go with volume, volume profile right there. 1840. That's my call. 1840. So we got Uber, which I don't like trading, by the way, in case you don't know. So that was horrible. Let me see Disney, because I know some of you guys were looking at Disney. Look at the monthly. Interesting zone, because 160 can show us 180, just based on us getting from here to here. Right? Bear in mind that we need some sort of catalyst, and that's where I have it, like a 160. We can hit 167, target one. Yeah, it's not big. It's not big. Disney 160, 170. Just, I think Carly was watching this one today. I'm not sure. Roku, who's trading that one? I haven't traded that one in a while. Coming with earnings. That's a good range that we have right there. 160 to 230. So when's the news coming on? 217. That's going to be 2 days from now. It's going to be fun for sure if we can gap over 180. So just save it. But yeah, we'll discuss it once it gaps. So Roku earnings, no call. We say, are we still? I think I was checking Palantir last week because he's trying. Yeah, but then earnings again. Ah, look at the space. So again, Kathy's been buying it. 14 for 18. When? Who knows? Probably on the earnings. I don't get it. Those trades, they're pretty much the same. So no call on Palantir earnings play beyond. I'll take a monthly on that one. I'll take a monthly. So over 70 targets 10%, $80 beyond. Over 70 for 80. Guys, tickers. What else? What tickers you want? Airbnb. Oh, that's earnings tomorrow, today.
Today.
Okay. Oh, we out. 215 after. Okay. So 194, 200. So I'm assuming you want my take on the market right here. 200. Where we gapping? We're clearing this one. We're clearing this 200. Ooh. Well, I don't analyze here. Usually I don't do the gaps right here, right? But I'll go with the 15-minute chart. However, I want you to keep in mind something. We're coming from 134. So at 200, it's already up good 70%, good 50%, right? Can we go higher? 200, 210? Yeah, we could. That's one of the areas that I was looking for, right? Like for targets. So we're probably be gapping into 2 to 10 to 206, right? Be very careful with the main range on the weekly chart. So yeah, we can probably trade some momentum on that one. But yeah, I'll check it tomorrow. But Airbnb is out. Snap, absolutely, guys. Snap. I'm looking also at this reversal right here, 42 for 45 for 48. So Snap, 42, 45, 48. What else? Who's surviving? Twitter? No. Pins, I don't trade that one. Some of the Bitcoins, Mara. No. Coin. GVTC, trying to put like pivot. Let's check the weekly. This is a checkout right here. Look, right there. So everybody was expecting it to stop right here. That was the prior time, and then we make a new low, and now we're just bouncing, but we're still in a downtrend. So this one needs to clear 33. I'm talking about GVTC in case you guys are interested into the coins. So over the 32, over 35, then we'll probably go into 39, and then we start talking a bit again about moving higher, right? So this 40 is the level, right? So we still have good 10 points, which is 30% to go from here. UPST, thank you, Benny. UPST, that's earnings, right? Yeah, we just reported earnings. So 149, 150. So how do we trade this one? This is interesting because it's triggering, it's about to, no, it's not triggering a daily. 150 could get interesting, to be honest. Could get, because at least you can do 150, 160. See the weekly. 150, yeah, 150, 158. Now that I said this, 150, 158. That could be a good trade tomorrow. Keep an eye on that one. UPST. So of course we're into 133. 133 is the 50 MA on a daily chart. So 133, 150, and what was the other one? 133, 150, and 158. UPST 133, 150, 158. If you lose 133, I don't want to be long that thing, right? You start losing 133, you don't want to be long because probably you're going to test 121. So under 133, 121. Under 132, 121. It's the next support line, and I just gave you a gap trade for tomorrow. What else we're missing, guys? BA, no, I haven't. I totally forgot. I used to trade BA a lot, but he's just started trading so bad that I haven't traded. And I think with I think we tried to do it once, Kyle, and I told you, right? Like I don't like trading that thing intraday anymore. Anyways,
Right,
on a good
yeah.
day, yeah, it trades it really bad. Like it puts a lot of fake moves and everything. But yeah, we did have like technically a base. So this is just sideways, guys. This is just chop. Look at that. I don't want to get involved in that one. You know, when we have things like MU, right, that it moves and it's clean, and you know, I don't want to be into BA, right? AXP, let's see, strong. Yeah, this is good. This is good. Financials. Again, guys, I don't trade financials. I don't trade commodities. I don't trade energies. Well, that's a commodity too. I'm very focused on my tech, yes. But this is a pretty good one. This one's like, I love them when they give me like a slow trade. But this is the thing: 1, 2, 3, 4 weeks up, 3 months up into new all-time highs. At least I like it that is making new. Are we making all-time highs? Is that significant? I mean, it can go to 200 for sure, but I don't know. If it's in play, it's absolutely a daily breakout play, but it's not a monthly day breakout play. It's not a weekly breakout play. No, it's not. The weekly breakout play was 190. So we're like 10 points late, 5%. So yeah, it's good for momentum for sure. I know you trade momentum, so that's a good one. Okay, guys, 7:01. What's the best trade you have for tomorrow? Share it. This is the time. I think we're done, right?
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Expedia, I think it reported earnings a couple of days ago. This is a good reversal, guys. I like it. Sold off on the day and then 212. So if we have this one, yeah, it could be. This is another reopening trade. Again, 1, 2, 3, 4. Where was the actual? It broke on earnings, but it got sold. So now today they bought it back, and this is a breakout. So today was a breakout. I wish we could have seen a little bit more volume, but this is a good watch for tomorrow. 212 EXPE. Okay. So thank you guys for your time.
Thank you.
I'll see you tomorrow.
All right. Thanks,
Okay,
Mario.
bye
See
guys.
everyone in the morning.
Okay, guys. Rest well. See you tomorrow.